Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Magic Bricks webinar series, our endeavor to trigger a buy and bring back consumer confidence in the real estate market. We have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of real estate industry. The topic of today's session is how to choose the right location. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Ashok Kumar, a founding principal and managing director of Cresa India. He manages profit center operation and network with worldwide offices across the globe to represent leading Fortune 500 corporations and government agencies to ensure global delivery standards across the country. He shares excellent relationship with all the leading developers, business chambers, various stakeholders of commercial, residential, retail industry, real estate, government agencies, local agents, etc. across the country. Mr. Kumar is an engineer and MBA in marketing finance. He is widely traveled globally. He was a founder chairman of the Cornet Global India and was chairman of the first India Global Summit, Mumbai 2004. He is a respected leader in the Indian real estate industry. His global real estate expertise encompasses experiences with integrated services, including corporate real estate, residential markets, strategic planning, tenant representation, valuation, consulting, research investments, and transaction. Along with him, I also welcome E. Jayashree Kuru, Head Content and Research Magic Bricks. She has been a business journalist for over 2 decades with the Times of India, the Economic Times, and the Financial Express. She forayed into research in 2002. She is a regular guest columnist with a number of established media, including the Times Group and others. We will start the session with a presentation by our experts. Over to you, Jayashree.
Thank you, Neha. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Magic Bricks series where we bring industry experts to interact with consumers like yourselves. The Indian real estate market, I would say, is at a cusp. There is the consumer has already reached a stage where he needs a lot of information. The market is today moving towards a situation where they are trying to provide the information that will enable you to make the right decision. As a media house, as the largest property portal in the country, we believe that the best way to correct all the discrepancies in this market is to bring more information to the table. If the consumer is empowered with information, the consumer makes the right decisions. I take this opportunity to welcome Ashok Kumar, a very respected real estate consultant and advisor, whose views hold great credence, and I'm sure you will all benefit from that. We have been over the last 1 month conducting a lot of webinars, hangouts, interactions with various segments of the real estate market and bringing different aspects of the real estate market for discussion. Today we choose to talk about how to choose the right location for your house. These are not randomly selected topics. We have a forum called Open House, the Magic Bricks Forum, and here we have about 50% of the queries that consumers post here, and we answer something like 70 to 80 queries per day, is about how should I find the right location for me to be staying in, so that if I'm an end user, I get a good quality of life, and if I'm an investor, I get a good return on my investment. Let's quickly go through this very brief presentation, after which we'll put the questions to Ashok. How do you choose the right locality for your house? The locality should have current livability so that you get a quality of life that is commensurate with what you are looking for. The area should have future prospects so that at some point of time when you decide to exit that investment, or when you choose to move out of that area, you should have other buyers to whom you can sell. It should be easily accessible. Today, one of the biggest problems in Indian cities is the commute time that you have to spend traveling from wherever you're staying to wherever you're working, and on a daily basis that becomes a big deterrent. It should have good quality assets, and by assets I mean the quality of your house. There are all kinds of houses in the market, all types of qualities in the market. if you want to have a good, healthy living experience, you should go for those which are well constructed, well designed, where the maintenance costs are not too high, and which are easy on your pocket. Selecting a locality, our study shows that people choose localities basis 3 or 4 issues. The proximity to the workplace, so that your commute time is less. Good social infrastructure such as schools, colleges, hospitals, education centers, entertainment centers, so that your children, your family, and you yourself have other things to do in the radius around your house, so that you have a holistic lifestyle. There should be a good quality of life, which means that the services, that is water, power, the quality of your roads, etc., should be good. And transport connectivity is like a lifeline in any city. There are many concerns that people have been raising on our forum, and this is just giving you some of the queries that people post. As soon as I finish, we'll put it to Ashok to discuss. How is Hebbal as a locality in Bengaluru? What are the prices? So the locality and its prices are important. Is it the right time to buy a plot in Sarvanapatti, Coimbatore? Where should I buy and at what cost? How long should I wait for price appreciation? That is choosing the right locality, what is the entry point, and at what point should you exit? Creating an exit strategy for good return on investment. Is it the right time to buy a flat in Bhandup, West Mumbai localities, or wait for some more time as due to recession rates may fall? I need your help. Who is to tell any consumer whether this is the right time to buy and whether this is the right price at which you should buy? I'm planning to buy a house in Shastri Nagar, Bengaluru. Is it the right choice to buy a flat in this locality? Please advise. Each of these queries, and there are so many more queries we've put here, we will put to Ashok, and I'm sure you will benefit from his expertise. The stages of a locality, there are 3 or 4 stages in the development of a locality. An old established locality, but there is no redevelopment. So what happens is that once a locality gets established, that is when all the infrastructure is in place. After a period, the quality of infrastructure starts aging, and if the city does not constantly redevelop, what happens is that the quality of your life in these prime areas start going down. Let's take a very prime locality like Greater Kailash in Delhi. Still a very aspirational locality, but because there is redevelopment, where there was 1 family staying, today there are 5. And if the 5 families is equal to at least 15 cars. Where do you park these cars? If you don't develop with the parking space, then you have a problem and the roads tend to get crowded. Since development norms are not always followed, if there is overbuilding by even on one plot of land by 1 consumer, the rest of them start suffering because your access to sunlight, your access to light, all that gets impacted because somebody else has violated a building law. A new locality is one where it is the right time to buy and live, since it has integrated living and proximity to all facilities, which means that once if there is a new township coming up, there's commercial, there's residential, there's retail, there is a clubhouse, there are jogging tracks, and you're buying a new property, so at least for the next 5 years you don't have to worry about maintenance and so on. That is good quality of life. But there can be another one, like any new evolving growth corridor, like Sarjapur, like Dwarka Expressway, like the Mira Road, Bhayandar area, which has future potential. It is cheaper to buy today because it has not reached its potential. And people go to those areas because of the price differential, the price arbitrage. But it has future potential, and you should be able to assess what the future potential of that locality is. And finally, the return on your investment. At every stage of development, it determines how long you have to hold the property and when you can exit. And a planned exit is really important for those who are looking at investment and returns on the investment. That is a small brief presentation which puts into perspective how you can choose a locality. Let's go across to Ashok. Ashok joins us from Mumbai. Ashok, would you like to comment on the points that we've made, and then we'll go on to the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Jayashree, for the introduction as well as a very good presentation which covers almost everything about selecting for a house or for a new location, which is very important. As in real estate, we always say location, location, and location. And I would be happy to answer the question, whatever your audience wants. But yeah, this is the right time because the market is at bottom, and this is time to have a good search and good negotiation in each and every market for the end users, basically, if not only for investors.
Okay, Ashok, the consumers have been hearing a lot of people say this is the right time because the markets have been flat. Can you elaborate on that? How do you decide what is the right time, and what are the few points that you should keep in mind when you're determining whether it's the right time to buy whatever you're buying?
Yeah, the simple thing is that, see, our economies now have bottomed out, especially in India. No, the global turmoil is still on. I think in the last 2-3 days, suddenly there's a lot of changes happening. In the last 3 days, you see the stock market globally in China as well as crude prices. Now it is touching $26, $27. So it will have an impact in future because our economy is also linked with that. But if you see the local economy, we are still at 7.5%, which even IMF has confirmed yesterday. So our growth will remain intact, if not more, the same. So at least we are safe in that way. I think last 2-3 years was very bad for the real estate market. With so much of inventory piled up across all the markets, developers are not willing to budge in terms of if you negotiate for a price. So definitely you get a 20-25% cut in terms of total package what they offer to you. So that depends upon how serious buyer is there and where they want to. It is basically I'm talking about the end user, not for the investors. Because this is a market for end user. Investors are still out of the market because they're still stuck. They are not able to come out.
Okay, now that is an important point that Ashok has made. Listeners, we would like to reiterate it. It is a good market for end users. So Ashok, what is the difference between an end user buyer and an investor buyer?
End user is one like I need a house to stay, so we are the end user. I am the end user, or anyone is end user who is buying the first house. But investors, there are many people are those who invest in the property and they keep changing hands while before the position they sell it and move it to others, which happens mostly in the bull market when the market was going up to I think 2007-8, then again in between for 2 years. But now in the last 3 years it is sliding down, so they are not able to exit from the investment because they had bought and bought for some gain and they're stuck. So this is a major difference. The investors look at the kind of flipping the properties like the getting some increase, which is now they are stuck. But individual is one who needs for his housing needs. So I think this is something which they should use as a bargain with the developer.
How should your attitude be, and how is your search any different when you are an end user from when you are an investor?
Yeah, it is important because the end user will definitely look into all those aspects that where are the school, because he's going to live with his family, either he's married, unmarried, or with his parents, needs old or aged, his school, hospital, infrastructure. So all these things, workplaces, all these things become important when the end user looks for his house. So accordingly, he will select because you presented in your presentation, these are the things which one should look into while selecting a location. So this is a search for that. And now there's sites like manyve and others. There's a lot of information which they can share or they can learn from these sites, at least while researching their houses. Then maybe select a good broker. If not, they can do themselves. It's fine. If not, then good broker who can assist them in finding a bargain deal in all these markets for the ready property. Basically, I'm talking about.
Okay, Ashok, one of the questions that we had and what I've shown on the screen, how is Hebbal in Bengaluru? What are the prices in this locality? Is this consumer asking the right questions?
Yeah, I think Hebbal is definitely, it is in the growth corridor in Bangalore because you can see there is a freeway to the airport hardly 20 minutes away. So this is the 4C is the future MG road of Bangalore. And the prices I know it was started around 3,000-4,000, which is now touching close to 10,000 now for the premium properties. But I think still the range is you can get the property in the range of I think 6,000 to 7,000. Most of the properties in around Hebbal, except the luxury project like Embassy Golf, the select areas or maybe one I think RMG is having. But most of them otherwise you will get in the range of 5 to 7,000. But this is a very potential growth area in the future. That much I can tell you because this is closest to the airport. This is the node which is closest to the airport and closest to the city, and on the brink of the outer ring road.
Point for consumers to remember. Any transit corridor that leads to an airport or to very close to the commercial hub, these are areas that have future potential. So even if you're looking at as an end-use purchase, you must keep in mind that at some point of time, how the property appreciates is going to be important to you. So do look at future potential as well. Ashok, let's go to the next query. There is Deepan from Navi Mumbai who says, I'm thinking of buying a property in Navi Mumbai for an end use. My budget is 50 to 60 lakhs for a 2 BHK flat. I'm not sure about locations such as Seawood, Kharghar, New Panvel, Kopar Khairane. I would like Vashi, but it's unaffordable. Please advise best location for value.
I think considering the airport is definitely coming within 4 years, I think New Panvel may be a good area at the good entry point, but even Kharghar also, because now the CIDCO is planning to have a similar BKC, like BKC we have in Bandra Kurla here, they will have their another financial center there. So New Panvel Kharghar area is also one of the opportunity which comes, and beside the Ulve.
Okay. Ashok, when a new facility like the BKC and the CIDCO development that is proposed, how does a residential buyer benefit? If you could just explain it to our consumers.
No, it will definitely be, because most of the developments residential happens around commercial. If you see the city, Bangalore was developed only 15-20 years before because it was all the IT boom. Same thing with Pune, like Hinjawadi or maybe even Kharadi. All are the magnet point is all commercial development. Because of that, the residential development takes place because people start working there. They need for the house, they need for the entertainment, and so much. Same thing, like you say, the Madhapur in the high-tech city in Hyderabad or maybe in Gurgaon or Noida. So all these are development related, like in Malad in Bombay also. So there are many examples. Even Kopar Khairane you can see. Reliance put their headquarters, as well as now there's a lot of IT parks. So it is creating the job, as well as people want to always stay closer to their parks where they work and which have the access. So, and which gives them rental. When for investor, it is good because they get the rental opportunity. If they lease out, suppose their job is changed from Mumbai to Bangalore, so at least they can lease out to the other people who are working in the same company or to other company which is nearby. So commercial development is definitely a big magnet for. Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely. In fact, consumers should remember that while today you're buying as an end user, at some point you may be shifted out of the city, or you may want to go into another unit. But at that point of time, it is important to understand that if you are in an area where there is commercial development, you will also get good rental returns for your property. So while you wait for the leverage value to go up, which normally takes, Ashok, 4 to 5 years at least in real estate investment, if you're looking at upgrading your leverage.
I think that is what we will have to minimum. I think at this current time now, it used to be 3-4 years before, but now it has increased with the market changes. So 5 years is definitely a good reasonable time.
And at that time, if you want to get the best value, you also have to get a regular rental return. One, that it is normally 1 to 2%, maybe max 3% if the returns are very good or you've entered early. But the point is that when you get a rental return, it actually, the house gets taken care of, and also things like your outflow does not start. For instance, if you keep your house locked up, you have to pay the maintenance charges, you have to pay the water and electricity charges. These are all outflows for you when you're waiting for the right time to exit a property investment. But if you give that house on rent, all this gets taken care of, and the house that is used is always the one that gets best value, which is well tenanted. Ashok, let's go to the next query. We've got Karushi from Delhi, who says that she wants an apartment in Faridabad near the Badarpur border. My budget is rupees 50 to 70 lakh. I don't want to invest in Neherpar and Surajkund. Where should I buy, and is it worth investing in Faridabad? Ashok, here couple of issues that we need to address. One is that the Faridabad market, though very close to commercial hubs, very close to the South Delhi area, is one market that has not achieved its potential for a long time. And the second thing is that new developing areas, which should have been planned development like Meherpar and Surajkund and so on, they have not, development has been slow and they have not attained their potential. So a consumer who wants to go into Faridabad and has a reasonably good budget of 50 to 70 lakh, how do they choose their property?
I think your research will suggest better in Faridabad, but I can tell you the Faridabad, I think infrastructure, the new road which has been launched by Prime Minister, I think is touches some part of the Faridabad. The Merit one,
no, Ashok,
which
I don't think that touches.
No.
No, but what is important here is that one, it is the city which has been identified as a smart city, as one of the smart cities by Haryana, and the second is that there is commercial activity happening in Faridabad. Maybe not manufacturing, but there's a lot of redeveloped IT areas and so on. So, but
suppose it is. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, carry on. Please carry on.
I said if it is selected as smart city, definitely potential will change within 3-4 years when the city will be ready. Because related infrastructure will be developed by the government. The moment the infrastructure improves, the potential of the city of Faridabad also will improve. More and more investor users will start going because that is not very far from Delhi. Considering the importance Noida and Gurgaon has got it, Faridabad, you really said it has not really got the attention of that. So price range, selective property, I think you can better advise which is the projects, but I can tell you the price range is what you're suggesting is maybe the good for the next 4 to 5 years kind of potential if somebody is looking into.
Arushi, it's like this. You will have to look at, since you don't want to go to Meherpar and you don't want to go to Surajkund, you will probably have to go for look at the secondary markets. Today, because there are websites like ours, like Magic Bricks, where you have, you can log in and you can search what are the options that are available within your budget. And in Faridabad, 50 to 70 lakh is a good budget to hold. So what will happen is that you get a large range of options. Out of that, check out what is most important for you. What are the facilities that you must have? For instance, you want to be near a commercial center, you want to be near a particular road, you want to check out where the schools are, where the hospitals are, and so on. And after that, these are the factors that actually impact your decision. Once you've selected your property, make the site visit. Very important, can't tell you how important it is that you should go and check out the site. Use a legal expert to check out, because you're buying from the secondary market, check out the legality of the property, whether the title is clear and so on. You don't want to be facing legal problems later. And once you buy that, you should be able to get the house that you want. There are 2 or 3 things that are in Faridabad's favor. One is that the metro has already arrived in Faridabad and is likely to be extended. Every smart city will be well networked by the metro, and this is one of the things that is being planned. Therefore, future potential will be there. The second is that Faridabad has opened out to Gurgaon in a big way, and Gurgaon is a big commercial hub. So if you stay in Faridabad and want to travel to Gurgaon, you know that there is a direct linkage that has come in. A third thing that you should look at is there is a planned Faridabad, Gurgaon, Noida corridor. Though that project has been delayed and we don't know what its prospects are right now, as that comes, you will see that the 3 best commercial hubs will be united with that one corridor. And today, especially because it is on the smart city agenda, the chances of these projects coming to light are very high. Let's go to the next question. Ashok, we've got somebody from Kolkata, Priyanka Ghosh, who says, where is the best place to buy residential properties in Kolkata? Presently, I'm staying at Kasba. I want something near to Kasba. My budget is around 35 lakh. Please suggest. Priyanka, while Ashok is an expert in advising you on how to choose your localities, here I think your choice of locality is very clear. You want Kasba. So you should again repeat the process that I said. Go to the website, check out what is available near Kasba, and then figure out whether you want to buy from the secondary market or the primary market. If the primary market, what are the new projects that are being launched there? If there are new projects, Ashok, why don't you tell our users, when you buy from the primary market, from a developer direct, what are the 4-5 things that you should keep in mind so that you get a good buy?
Yeah, in the beginning, at least it should be a reputed developer. He should not be the first-time developer, and ensure that all their approvals are in place. So check that they have the IODCC, whatever they call it, to start the project with the approvals, and all the land, title, everything is clear. Second thing, that his reputation should be good, considering that the project is halfway through or maybe 2/3 completed, considering there is a lot of delay in the under construction projects. And definitely check with few people who has already purchased from them the past project, or see their projects which is already ready and delivered. These are the few things, I think, beside the price and cost, whatever. These are 3 things. It is very important to check the developer profile first entering into the project.
Exactly. Priyanka, remember that you're going to stay there for the long term, and therefore you want to make sure that the developers, people who bought earlier from the developer are happy staying there, are happy with the service level of maintenance or services that are offered, and that the developer does have a track record of delivery. Especially, this is very important in today's market, because around the country we have had significant delays in delivery of projects. So like Ashok said, if you can buy into a project that is 2/3 complete, at least the structure would be there, and you know that there is a timeline in which you would get your delivery. But again, do visit the site, do check out with other buyers from that developer so that you can get a honest opinion from them. Let's go on to Nilesh Bagal, who says, I would like to buy a property in Navi Mumbai or Pune in the range of rupees 25 to 30 lakh for an investment horizon of 5 to 10 years. Where would I get good property appreciation? Ashok, is that too small a budget for him, or will he be able to buy something in 25 to 30 lakh?
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. 25, 30 will sound very small budget considering the New Bombay. Even in Pune also, maybe like Boisar, where the Tata is developing New Haven, he might get in that, or maybe in some Dehu Road kind of scenario. But generally for the Pune, the budget should be easily 30 to 40 lakhs or minimum at this 1-bedroom kind of thing also in good area.
Okay, Nilesh, remember that when you start with a very small budget, then what happens is you tend to go with developers who are not in the formal sector, who may be very small and local, who are dropping prices so that you can get buyers. You may not get your project delivered on time, even though you've put money in. So you must make sure that whatever the budget that you're taking, check out what the city's range is, and your budget should be in line with the city. If you can afford to raise your budget, do so and get a good property. But since you're going to hold it for 10 years, you must be sure that you get a good rental return in that period. It may not be very high, but at least it should be good enough for your house to be taken care of. Otherwise, what will happen is you will have an outflow, and you may not get the best returns out of your investment. We've got Amit from New Delhi who says, hi, I would like to buy a 900 square feet plot in Noida. Could you please suggest where to go? My budget is around 25 lakh. Amit, you're looking at a small plot in Noida. Remember that when you buy a plot in Noida, you can only build, no matter how much you build, it has to be in the name of one person. Single floors or dividing the floors is not allowed in the Noida market. So if in effect you are going to have a house, or you will buy a plot and hold it for the long term. Ashok, versus apartments, how does plot appreciate?
Definitely, plot will give good appreciation provided but there is a lot of risk in the plot unless until you check with the title and the real owner, because we have faced many problems where the property is encroached or they have multiple owners, they have sold to many people, there is some different mutation entries entered, and people are not aware of that. They come to know only after they paid the money and they do the registration. After a few years, somebody turns up that he is the real owner of that. So if it is come under society or gated communities, these plot investments is good if it is at a good price. But if it is buying from the market, from the other sources, from the villagers, it is very difficult to ascertain the title and the its authenticity. So that is the only point in the plots. Plots is good provided it is in the very safe zone in terms of the gated community of some developer only, or with some earmark Sidco or maybe the Noida Authority which is selling under the plotted scheme. So potential is definitely
right. Sorry, please continue.
So I said the potential is better definitely in plot compared to flat. But if somebody is a first time buyer, I will definitely advise to put in the flat because it is more reliable in terms of the development. Nowadays, when there is so many ready projects, so people can prefer that to go for the ready project.
Exactly. You're looking at a place like Noida. Noida, if we assess demand, and bulk of the demand in Noida is for apartments. It's not for plots. It's not for residential houses. In markets where residential houses are in demand, you may find that there is, whenever you want to exit your investment, you may get good returns. But in markets like Noida, where the amount of housing that is coming up is probably the highest concentration in the country today. You've got Noida Extension, Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway, where plots have already been sold. So you see there is a lot of stock in the market, and the demand definitely veers towards apartments. Apartments within gated communities where the common facilities are, where you get lifestyle features like clubhouses, swimming pools, and so on. So when the demand is for X and you go and buy Y, exiting your investment may be a little difficult. And also, like Ashok said, maintaining a plot for till you get good returns may also be a little difficult. So do consider and take advice from experts. If you have more queries, do come back to us on the forum, and we'll be happy to get more experts to answer your query. There is Yashu from Ghaziabad who says, my budget is 70 lakh. Where should I buy a flat? A 2 BHK in East Delhi or a 3 BHK in Indirapuram? Please advise. Now, Yashu, I think Ghaziabad, you've started with a budget that is 70 lakh. You want to buy in East Delhi, which will largely be redeveloped property in existing localities. So there you will have to check out the titling, and like Ashok mentioned, there are many issues when you're buying from the secondary markets. You have to do a legal due diligence. When you go to a bank and they finance your project, your house, then they also do their due diligence. But otherwise, remember, a 3 BHK in Indirapuram, these will be newer properties, these will be within gated communities. So actually, Ashok, what he's asking is, should I buy from a secondary market? Should I buy in the old format or the new format? The new format being apartments within cooperative group housing societies or developer-led condominiums. And the old format is where you have plotted developments, where there are single floors, which is what you have in Delhi, and these are being redeveloped and sold by small developers. What would you suggest?
I will prefer definitely the Indirapuram. I have seen is a good development and a good developer also. The potential looks better than the going to a standalone building. So better to go for the large developer with a good park amenities. So value-wise, it will give you more return. It will be more secure also.
Right, and world over, secondary markets are very strong. But in India, because the quality of infrastructure and there is no planned development over a period of time at the locality levels, what really happens is that when you buy from older areas, then you might see that the house that you've bought may be new, but the infrastructure around may not match your new modern lifestyle. So do check that out, Yashu. Do go visit the areas that you're looking at. Do the same thing that we said. Put 70 lakh, go to the Ghaziabad page of Magic Bricks, put 70 lakh as your budget, see where you can, what are the options that you get. Now see whether which one matches your requirement, and do undertake that site visit. We've got RR Reddy from Bengaluru is buying a property in Hyderabad safe. If yes, where can I buy? How do I choose a location? Ashok, Hyderabad is a city that has been within affordable ranges for a while. It has had its problems. It has come out of its problems. How do you advise a buyer like this?
Now Hyderabad is a good potential with both the state government not doing a lot. So I think the residential is even commercial is now has come up and residential will also do well because both government is very progressive. So anything I think closer to working the same criteria of selecting the location near the where the most of the IT companies or growth companies are there near the high-tech city, Gachibowli or even Samsabad because that is closer to the airport. There's a lot of development coming up in that area and it's quite even affordable also with a good developer track record or background. So I think according to me that area sounds good to me for the investment if he's thinking of. It will have the future kind of return also in terms of the only thing that he should go with the reputed developer. There are many reputed developers in those areas.
We've got a buyer who's a little confused about buying in Mumbai. How do you decide where to buy a house? I have a budget to buy a 1 BHK flat. I'm confused between the locations of Borivali and Vashi. Which is the best choice out of the two? How would you advise him, Ashok?
If the price is the only thing, but I think if she wants to use for investment or she wants to use for living. If she wants to use for living means she must be working or some must be doing something somewhere. If doing the work closer to Vashi, then she should prefer Vashi. If she is in the western corridor from the Borivali to Bandra, then I think she should think of Borivali. But one bedroom, I think Vashi, maybe she may get in the range of maybe I can say 7 to 8,000 kind of range in the buildings. But in Borivali, the now rates are higher. Even I think minimum she will be getting around 11 to 12,000, not less than that.
Exactly. Borivali has already put its redevelopment norms in place, and there is a lot of redevelopment happening. But remember that when redevelopment happens, you are buying at today's prices, not at yesterday's prices, right? So this is new, modern. You'll get newer houses, but it will come at a higher value. We've got
Borivali is well connected by the Borivali is well connected also by roads, infrastructure. Now there is Western Expressway process. There is a link road. Now there is a coastal road coming. So anyway, in Bombay, western side is more developed compared to eastern side. So the prices are also always a premium in western side.
Absolutely. So these are some of the considerations that you should keep in mind when you are deciding. And like Ashok said, ultimately the place that you choose to live in has to be most conveniently located to where you're working, because otherwise you'll spend a bulk of your time traveling, and that may not be the best thing for you. There is Sunil from Delhi again, a Noida question, and Ashok. Logically, because Noida has one of the highest volume of properties, so a lot of queries around Noida. I'm looking for a 2 BHK flat either in central Noida and Noida extension with a budget around 40 lakhs. Right now I'm looking for my end use, but later on I will sell it as well. Please suggest the area and the project where I should invest. Sunil, when you're looking at Noida extension, you may be able to get, but I think you're looking at a small budget. You will have to look a lot harder to find something within your budget. But in Noida, I think your budget is going to be a little small for what you're looking for. Having said that, use the same principle, go to the site, check out what you're getting, and remember that when you have a smaller budget, you have to be sure that the buyer you're buying it from is giving you a legally safe project, is giving you something that is good. But Ashok, here the larger point that he's making is, I'm looking for current end use, but later on I want to have a good sale potential as well. How do you assess the potential to sell a property in the future in that location?
That is what they should be well connected in terms of infrastructure near the school, near the college, near the hotel, near the shopping mall. If there is a IT or any workspace like large IT park, then it is good because people, those who are working, can stay there. So the marketability increases of these houses, and it becomes easy to sell or rent in future. So budget-wise, I think even if you want to buy, it is better to buy with the ready, because I know there are a number of projects which are unsold there, and they should go with even the developer who are really good, rather than, because I've heard a few developers are already ready, but their projects are on hold. So check with all that, do research, and you can bargain a good deal.
Yeah, in fact, when there is more stock in the market, you as a buyer and a serious end user will have a lot more options to negotiate, because the sellers are getting desperate to sell. So if there is more stock, more supply than demand, it's a good time to negotiate a good rate. But you be sure that you're buying the property in a place that is livable, in a property that is coming to completion, and where the locality is livable and has future potential, right? Let's there are a couple of questions about safety, and here this is a issue, Ashok, that needs to be addressed. There is Ritika who says, I've recently shifted to Delhi. Kindly suggest some areas that is good for an independent working woman. I need it for rental purpose. She wants to rent a property in a safe locality. How do you assess which are the localities that are safe? This is especially important in a city like Delhi, which is traditionally considered not very safe for women.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, this is the most common thing now everywhere, but yeah, there is more definitely in news because of bad news in or women's. I think if she's working, I do not know where she's working. If she's working closer, I will prefer that she should prefer something very close by, even though if she's a single woman, they can take a smaller apartment, but better closer to the workplace. So she should not commute more, because sometimes working hours are late, people return home late. So if it is closer by to the workplace, you can reach home faster, or you can access it faster. If it is Delhi, then within the Delhi, I think, I do not know where is the office, but in just Ola or maybe this side of the town. Or if it's Gurgaon, then definitely it has to be in Gurgaon, or Noida, has to be Noida. So closer to the workplace and good society with the security system. Should be taken care of, and I think there are many good buildings where you have all this available. And this is what I feel. This would be good if they take the due diligence of selecting the house, and they should research more on the houses, because there are many times even the main cities also you get good apartments for single women and under the good reputation and good reputed builder. Only depends upon the rent, how much they charge, but you can get safety is more important. Better to pay a little higher, but be in a safe location or safe building.
Absolutely. Ritika, Delhi is one city which does not have very many high-rises. There are only pockets of it. For instance, you have Dwarka, which has a lot of multi-story apartments within gated communities. You have maybe Patparganj, where there is a lot of such units. So you see, otherwise, Delhi has been a low-rise development city, and it has been an area where there is plotted development. And when you say 1 BHK, I don't think Delhi has too much of 1 BHK, because the land values are so high, and because it is large format development, you will probably get the Barsati or a small unit on the second or third floor. In many cases, sometimes you get it in urban villages and so on. But like you said, safety is of prime consideration. So if you can find something close to where you work, like Ashok said, then your outside safety is taken care of. When you come, you don't have to travel so much at odd hours. Otherwise, do look at places which have camera securities, where you know that not only within your building, but in the locality as well, there is safety, because you do need to step out to buy your daily needs and things like that. And at that time, it is important that you look at personal safety and security. There is one more person, Raghav, who says, I want to know, how do you define a house to be safe? What are the factors that affect the safety? Ashok, would you like to take that?
Yeah, house to be safe means, as I said, it means you have to be if you are in a reputed society, so they take care of all their security. They have a CCTV. They have a regular check, even odd time check or off time check. There's a continuous checkup of all these things. Even though there is RFID barriers, now there's all of security systems, building intelligence systems are incorporated in the good societies. Now the maintenance are a little costly, but they are definitely it provide more safety. But within the house, you can have your own. You can put all your cameras also, even in terms of even the inside your house, you can put your CCTV. It is not a very costly affair nowadays.
Yeah, technology can actually help, and sometimes, especially in Delhi, if you have older people or women staying alone and so on, even the Delhi police is quite willing to work with you so that your systems are in sync with the city systems, and they would like to keep you safe. So the city is making its is trying its best, and I think you should also think carefully about this. And Raghav, when you look at your own house, it is good to be within a gated community. Then the safety, the concept of safety is shared between all the members who live there. Also, if it is centrally managed, then you can invest in not one security camera, but security cameras around the entire locality, and that definitely adds to the safety of your home. Well policed, well guarded, good use of technology. These are all elements that you should be looking for. We've got Anchal from Mumbai. She's a housewife, and she says, should one invest in upcoming localities of the city which are in the suburbs? What is the risk involved? Ashok, this is something that a lot of our consumers ask. What are the risks involved in investing in localities that are new, evolving, have future potential? How do you assess whether you should buy there or not?
No, I think those, wherever the infrastructure, suppose there is a coastal road now is being planned. If it is touching some of the nodes in Borivali or beyond Borivali, so any infrastructure, any location near the Ester or beyond is going to get benefited out of that. Similar, now the Nava link is what now the government is planning to link the New Bombay with the CV. So any development with both the nodes, this side or that side, closer to 1 or 2 or 3 kilometer area, will definitely benefit because the infrastructure is going to come in the next 3-4 years. But at the same time, even the building will be ready in 3-4 years. So I think like Mother Island, which is now again, it is a good location, but it is remote because to access that you have to go to all the way to Malad, then cross the creek, then go to the link side. But now if this road comes up, it will connect all these locations. So infrastructure, moment infrastructure comes, the property will be viable. So in that connection, you should look for the good again developer and location and all those things.
Yeah, sure.
And it can pay well. I think there is a little risk, but it will definitely. There is a little risk now because there is nothing visible. But if it comes, the property prices will definitely appreciate much faster than compared to the other locations.
Yes, and in fact, if you look at these new developing localities, there have been localities that have been inordinately delayed either because of policy or because of land acquisition problem or something. Like for instance, the Dwarka Expressway. A lot of people bought there, but it did not pay them dividends yet because there was a problem with the land acquisition. Similarly, the Noida extension area, I think a lot of end users bought, but because of that National Green Tribunal order, which came mid-stream, then it was nobody's fault, but your returns got delayed. These are some risks that come with investing very early in stages of development. However, because you have invested so little, 2,000 rupees a square foot, or in Dwarka Expressway, early buyers spent only 1,400 rupees a square foot. So though they have been delayed, you must be prepared for a small amount of risk, but also consider, like Ashok said, what is the future prospect? What are the infrastructure projects that are coming up there. Normally, when there is a transport infrastructure project, either a road or a metro or something like that, values jump by 10 to 25% after the completion of the infrastructure. So you should be able to get long-term returns. Remain invested for the long term. Don't consider it a very short-term investment. Right, Ashok?
Correct. Anyway, real estate is not no more short-term. It has to be long-term, 5 years or beyond. Then only it is viable. Otherwise, it will not be viable.
Yeah. So don't be greedy about real estate.
Yes. Yeah. It will not be greedy because its cycle has changed. So you will have to hold it to get the return.
Yes, and also remember that now it is becoming a more mature market, and the kind of phenomenal returns that you got, 600, 700% returns, that may not come back anymore. So be realistic in your in what returns you expect as well. Right, Ashok?
Correct.
Okay. Let's go to Anuj Rana, who's planning to buy his first home. Do you think investing in a developed locality is more profitable than investing in an upcoming locality? I think, Anuj, more or less, Ashok has answered your query. But Ashok, when you invest in a developed locality, I think your entry price is higher, right?
But it is worth it because he's buying his first house. It's better to be in the developed market.
Okay. Suresh from Bengaluru, a very general question. Which is the best area to in Bangalore to buy a flat? You want to answer that? Just very a few rules of the thumb.
You told me the outer ring road and Hebel area on the airport corridor is the good area up to Devanhalli.
Okay. North Bangalore has been developing because of the airports that came up there. A lot of new localities there, new projects there. But just keep in mind whether there is enough water, there is enough transport links, there is enough commercial properties that are commercial hubs that are coming up, and then consider where you have to buy. There is a buyer who says, hello, I have just started working. I am considering to buy a property worth 30 lakh in Kharghar. How can I grow my money? Should I opt for rental returns? Ashok, would you like to take that?
I should again research your site like you people and find out the property in around Kharghar. I think 30 lakh again looks to me down small in terms of budget. But in a new Panvel area, I think they might get in one bedroom kind of thing, which they should look into.
There is Meenakshi from Yeah, sure. There is Meenakshi from Pune who's asked a very interesting question. How should we choose the demographics for making sure the location is right for buying property?
Yeah, demographics is important because where the main development of the space comes only with the demographics. Demographic means for residential, I mean that it is closer to the, again whatever we talked again, location and location. So how closer is to the main location, like it is a commercial development that is closer to CBD, or there is a good hospital, school, all those facility, whatever the end user needs, which is closer to your location, and accessibility. Like you said, the commute time, the infrastructure. So all these things are is important to find out the good demographics for your house.
Yeah, and actually, I will add here that a lot of the value of your home comes out of the neighborhood, how the neighborhood evolves. So when you look at the demographics, what makes a place aspirational? If the neighborhood is such that you would like to live near those people for the long term, that is what makes that neighborhood aspirational. And in many cases, there have been people who only looked at the house that they were staying in and did not see whether the rest of the neighborhood matches their lifestyle. So what happens is that you have to live with your neighbors for a long time, right? And if you have like-minded neighbors, then you have a good chance of having a active social life. This is something that is very important when you look at the neighborhood, and demographics play a huge part in that. We've got Chaitanya Rao, who's raising an issue of parking space. How do we need to check the parking space as well when we plan to buy a property? He says, for instance, in Noida, and how much extra do we have to pay?
No, parking has to be assured because, see, as per the rules, all developers has to give the parking. They cannot sell space without parking. That is the most, all the markets, this rule has become important. Now with this bill is now, regulatory bill is coming, I think this will become mandatory for everyone to do. So far they were providing the parking, but they were charging for that. So they will not, they cannot charge anything extra for the parking, but I am sure the developer are creative, so they add those price into the flat price. So ultimately you pay, but they have to provide the parking. That is important. And without parking, the property value goes down. If the one property is available with the parking and one is not, then definitely it has a lesser in terms of the marketability compared to the flat which has the parking. So definitely one parking or two, whatever, two parking if it is 3-bedroom kind of, most of the developer plan for that because it is anyway free of the FSI. So they create that infrastructure.
Right. And now we are on to our last 2 minutes of the last minute of the show, and I'll ask the last question of the day. There is Divya from Pune who says, though prices of properties outside city limits is less as compared to the ones within the city, as a buyer, I will have to take a look at the connectivity options in the outskirts. How can we determine the locations in a scenario like this? Ashok, again, she's asking for a checklist that she should look for when she looks at connectivity and future prospects. Maybe we end with a checklist that consumers should look at when choosing their localities.
Correct. I think they should do. In fact, we have put a lot in presentation, but I think they should definitely share that they're closer to the workplace and location is safe. They should ensure that infrastructure is developed, like road, trains, buses, metros, are going to come very soon. Ensure that at least school is there, the hospitals are there. There is no, in terms of the problem in those areas like one-way traffic or two-way traffic or litigations or maybe some sort of things which they should think of before buying the house. Even in Bombay, we see a lot of low-lying areas with the flooded. So I don't know, they may be seen in Pune also. They should avoid in those areas where there's a lot of flooding in terms of the rains if there's a low-lying. So they should avoid that. And look the projects, especially built when they have a senior citizen with them. So they should look for the projects which are especially built nowadays, especially in Pune. I know there are 1 or 2 project developers who are building for old age homes also, with that keeping that bent in mind to help the older people. Even if somebody is an NRI, even they can think from that point of where it's closer to the work, any means developed market where the rentability becomes higher because they are the basically investors, so closer to the business park. And definitely when you're buying or visit your property many times, closer to the neighborhood, like you already mentioned, Jayashree, because this is very important that when you are accessing the property every day, and going multiple times in and out, you should know your neighborhood in close bys and see the traffic patterns, because these are the things which will greatly impact your life, day-to-day life. Even you can check the crime report because you should research a little bit, read the newspaper or maybe on the website that what are the any specific crime chart which suggests in that nearby police station or something. Nowadays people do it, and especially in Bombay. Then they have, of course, amenities are there, definitely very much important because all those your users like mall, entertainment centers, shopping, it should be close by or be walking distance. And other activities like we should do that the water, power, and the essential are throughout the year is available because in many cities, not many cities, many parts of the town, water is a problem still. Even in like Bangalore, you mentioned like the North Bangalore. In Pune, when I heard in Bhimanagar area also has a create a water problem. So these are the things I think few checklist which they should definitely look into that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ashok. Thank you, listeners, for joining us in this webinar. Over to you, Neha.
Yeah, thank you, Jayashree. I am really
Thank you,
thankful
Jeffrey.
to our guest speaker, Mr. Ashok Kumar, and our another speaker, Jayashree Kuru, for conducting this webinar. It was an insightful presentation and indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on Magic Bricks by tomorrow. This is Neha Nagpal, the moderator, signing off. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Thank you. Have a great day.